We're ready to go? Good. Well, I'm just going to say, before I start, wow. I was hoping 30 to 50 people, but we must have 100 here, so thank you all for coming. We'll do that a couple more times today, but great job. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Oak Lake. For those that don't know me, my name is Scott Phillips, and I'm a councillor here in the Armagh-Sifton. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on Treaty 2 land, the traditional lands of the Dakota Ayate, the Anishinaabe, and the national homeland of the Red River Métis. I would like to also welcome Premier Wab Kinew, Minister Glenn Simard, Minister of Municipal and Northern Relations, and Dean Brooker, General Manager of the Souris River Watershed. Today is an exciting day for the people of the Armagh-Sifton and the residents of Oak Lake. This is our home. We cherish living here and enjoy everything this region has to offer. So to start things off, I'd like to invite to the podium the Premier of Manitoba, Wab Kinew.
All right. Thanks so much. Well, thanks so much, Scott. Scott is a great friend to have here in southwestern Manitoba because among many things, he is the reason that I get to come to Oak Lake Beach every July pretty much. So thank you very much for that. Today, we're happy to announce that we're going to fund a $95,000 aeration project for Oak Lake. This is going to help make sure that the water stays beautiful. It's going to help prevent algae. It's going to help the fishing. This is a tremendous investment for our provincial government to make on your behalf to ensure that Oak Lake stays pristine and wonderful for generations to come. We're really happy. We're really happy as a government to be able to have the voices brought forward on your behalf and to advocate for this project. Voices also that advocated for us to put up those speed signs just up the road here too. And so just a quick note on that, we're going to be asking our infrastructure folks to study, I guess, some of the traffic data, which I'm sure you know well. I'm sure you've been studying that very carefully over the years to figure out whether there's other features, whether that's rumble strips or lights or other things that can be added, just to ensure that when you're here, that you can enjoy safely the wonderful summers that we have in this part of the province. So we're working together with your local leaders. We're making investments in keeping the lake clean. We're making investments in keeping the streets safe. Earlier this week, we announced almost $20 million for the Oak Lake Dam. And together, we want to make sure that a few things are really, really clear. We want people to know that we're investing in the future of our province. We want the next generation, the future generations, to have a safe, clean, and healthy environment for them to enjoy in the future. But we also want you to know that we're listening to rural Manitoba, that we're listening to western Manitoba, and that we're listening to you folks here in Oak Lake. It's our job as a people chosen to represent Manitobans to listen. And, you know, through the ups and downs of time in government, I think I can say without qualification that some of the best ideas that have been brought forward come forward from the local level because it's folks in the local area who know the issues best and who know the solutions. And so when we got friends like these, it's a pretty great thing to be able to come to work every day and work hard for you, the people of Manitoba. So, there's no shortage of things to do in Manitoba these days. We've got wildfires. We've got a president who's at it again. And what I will say is that no matter what happens on those fronts, Manitobans will always work together. We'll always help one another out towards that safe, clean, and healthy future. And we'll never be the 51st state. All right.
Thank you, Premier. Well said. Now I'd like to invite to the microphone Minister Glenn Simard.
Thank you for that, Scott. Thank you for that, Premier. And Scott's not the only pest in the legislature. You have me on your side. I grew up in this area. I spent my summers at a seasonal campground at Aspen Grove. This is where my kids learned how to fish. It's where I learned how to duff a golf ball into the sloughs there on, I think it's the fifth fairway, and at Oak Island here. And it's just great to see these investments coming back to Westman. Not long ago, I was out in Virden announcing close to $3 million for the airport. I see the mayor in leadership for Virden here today. And with the investments we're making with the dam, the investments we made yesterday with housing in Brandon, your voice is being heard because of the local leaders that you have here in the Oak Lake, the Virden area. And protecting the water here, making sure that this tourist destination continues to be as great as it is, there's nothing better than that. Quick story for me. I was the Minister of Tourism, and I was at an event, and they said, so you know what it's like in Gimli, right? And I'm like, I've never been to Gimli. And they go, what? You've never been to Gimli? I said, I grew up in Westman. Oak Lake, Clear Lake, Turtle Mountains, that's where I go in the summer. Unfortunately, I had to spend like 5 days out in Gimli last year to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. But I don't need a map to get here, right? Your government is visible here working for you. We want to be on a first name basis with the people who represent you. And I want to be on a first name basis with you as well. And that's why this is such an important investment, not only for the sustainability of the lake, not only so the fact that you can enjoy this seasonal area all year round now, but it's about the future. I love seeing the kids here. I love seeing you all here. I'm blown away like Scott with all of the attendees, and just want to thank all of you for advocating for our region, for advocating for your government to pay attention to you, and we'll continue to do that great work. So on behalf of the Minister of Infrastructure, I just wanted to take this opportunity to say the investments in the dam, the investments from natural resources in the lake make a big difference for this region. So with that, I just wanted to thank you all again and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Well done, my friend. Thank you, Glenn. Kind words again. Now to the podium, no stranger to many of us, is the General Manager of the Souris River Conservation District, Mr. Dean Brooker.
Thank you, Scott. From the board and staff of the Souris River Watershed District, I would like to welcome everyone here. Like so many watershed districts, we work all year long to improve the water quality of our watersheds here in Manitoba. That's why I'm happy to be able to stand beside a Premier and a Minister who share our goals of Manitoba's lakes and rivers. It was this time last year, I think Scott was texting me, I was on holidays, and I was looking down at my phone, and he brought up the idea of doing the aeration system here at the lake. So I know when I got back, we applied for some funding, and now we're here today to chat about it. So the project will use aeration to increase the amount of dissolved oxygen in the water during the winter months to support a healthy fishery. Once the dissolved oxygen levels drop, usually the first fish species to die off is walleye. So that will definitely help the walleye stocks in the lake here as well. So with this funding, we'll be able to purchase two air pumps, and they'll likely go over here.
Just wait 1 second.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so with this funding, we'll be able to buy two 20 horsepower air pumps that will push air about 6,000 feet through poly pipe out into the lake. So it's not going to go directly 6,000 feet out into the lake. It'll go out approximately 3,000 feet, and then we'll set up a manifold. From that manifold, there'll be 10 lines, and on each line, it'll be in a semicircle. and then on each line there'll be the bubblers that'll release the air into the lake. And we hope to have this done by late summer or fall at the latest. So we'll just keep everybody updated on that. It's a big project, and this project is a big deal for the watershed. So, and anybody that lives here or comes here in the summer, we know sometimes the water quality is poor. So the aeration system will also help with the water quality. So that's another positive for the lake. So this is our home and we love it. We believe in conserving our lakes and streams because it benefits our communities in so many ways. Whether it's the economic benefits or social benefits, we will always continue to fight and to protect this lake. And we are grateful to the province and our municipal partners for who allow us to continue that fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean. Hope everybody can hear me in the back. I'll try to get a little closer. Before we wrap up the formal part, I'd like to say a few words about this project. So you're going to have to bear with me for a couple of minutes because for those of you that know me know what this lake and this resort means to me. So, you know, normally when I speak on behalf of AMM, my speeches are all pre-written and prepared, and including when to pause, when to expect applause, and sometimes I don't even have to understand what I'm talking about. I just have to worry about that my tie is straight. But today's not a speech like that. This is Scott Phillips speaking. It's straight from the heart, and I know Oak Lake Beach. So here we go. First off, I'd like to thank, like I said, everyone in attendance for coming today for the funding announcement. This is big. This is big for the aquifer. This is big for everyone upstream, downstream, from Kinew-Wakpa to Souris. For the people that are on Plum Lakes, Plum Creek pipes, this is big. So it's just such a good day that you're all out here. I'd like to thank my good friend for a dozen or so years, Premier Wab Kinew, a very busy man, but has always time to answer my texts, who personally visited us last year on a Sunday to see the beach with his own eyes, drove with myself and Councillor Tim Croker down to the dam, and took time to chat with the Cottage Owners Association. Premier, I will never be able to thank you enough for your leadership and, more importantly, your friendship. Minister Glenn Simard, who I've known for around 25 years, who I talk to pretty much weekly on serious regional issues, but yet we can still talk hockey and laugh about the good old days. Thank you, Glenn, very much. Also, there's others that aren't here in attendance because, as the Premier said, it is a busy time. Conservation Minister Ian Bushy and Deputy Minister Bruce Gray, who really listened to us on this project. Environment Minister Mike Moises and previous Environment Minister Tracy Schmidt, they always answered my calls and they always showed interest in Oak Lake. Infrastructure Lisa Naylor and the announcement of the Oak Lake Dam. Special shout out to Special Assistants Michael Kelly and Ray Berthley, who I talk to frequently and always deliver the message to where it's got to go. Everyone that I just mentioned saw and listened to us advocate on water quality and the benefits that this project will deliver. Also to Dean from the Watershed for helping me put this together and get it submitted. Thank you for your fine tuning and greatly appreciated. Dean, you're a true asset to the region. But also, and importantly, to the great ratepayers of the Arma-Sifton for believing in your council to get projects like this, the Oak Lake Dam, the spawning bed, and others. We got them to the finish line due to working as a team with all levels of government. So thank you for putting your trust in us. You know, over the years, many of my colleagues, including some of my fellow Sifton councillors, rolled their eyes and second-guessed me on my lobbying efforts and my endless amount of trips to Winnipeg, and many thought I was nuts, including myself, as it was done on my own dime and time, and they thought it'd be a waste of time. Well, it's not, because days like today is why I did it. I believe in Oak Lake, and I believed in this project was very worthwhile advocating for. Just like I believed in the Manitoba with the First Responders Agreement, ag offices being reopened, and this shows right now that this government is listening to rural voices, and which is why we're here today. It would have been easy for a core group of us to roll over and accept defeat on many issues, but that ain't how this guy rolls. No means try harder. I grew up here, so when the cottage owners asked me to get involved, I jumped in with both feet. With their great idea and our combined knowledge of the lake and willingness to work together, we succeeded. There's no I, it's we. succeeded. Today's success is due to hard work, teamwork, patience, persistency, and thank God for common sense, as we see recently on the removal of red tape in the RMs of Killarney Turtle Mountain, Two Borders, Riding Mountain West, plus the Arcot decision north of Carberry, the recent funding of Spruce Woods Co-op, and other success stories in Westman and the Spruce Woods riding. To all the delegates in attendance today, I mean this when I am humbled by you coming today to show your support to this project. And my advice to you is anytime you have the opportunity to speak to a minister face to face, you take it, because good things will happen. This may not be the superstructure like Bill Henderson had, but by God it's going to help, and we are sure appreciative. Thank you for allowing me to speak and for your ongoing commitment to rural Manitoba. So that concludes the formal part. We are going to be open to some questions, and I believe Des is going to have the Real's open for anyone who wants to go for lunch. Bev Nichols is buying, so, and that's on record. So we're open to questions from the media, and I don't know if there's any online coming in, but go ahead, Connor. Do we have a secondary mic?
I'll repeat your question. Then, yeah. As long as you say something nice. Not if you say something mean. Okay, the question is about a by-election in the area, which we're required to hold sometime before the end of September, I should say. And what I would say is this. On election night, when our team was elected, one of the first things I said was a message to rural Manitoba, saying if during our time in office we fix healthcare and we make life more affordable, I'm asking rural Manitoba to send more people to sit with our team on our side of the legislative chamber. The first thing I did when I came into office was I cut the provincial gas tax. The first emergency room that we reopened was in Carberry. And so yeah, there's a lot of things that we do in the city, but I want rural Manitoba to know that we're listening to you, we're working hard for you. And the reality of my job as Premier is it doesn't matter whether you voted for me or not, I am your Premier. And so I'm going to work hard for you, and I'm going to work hard to make life better for everybody in Manitoba. And so we'll do that all the time, whether or not there's a by-election looming. Or sooner. Yeah. Well, I think I just explained the priority that I have. A lot of people throw up their hands and they say Western Canada seems to have a rural-urban divide. You look at all the 4 Western provinces, and cities vote NDP, rural votes blue. But I'm not content to accept that. I want our province to be one province. I want our province to be united. And I think it would be a shame if we just kind of throw up our hands and say that's the way things are. I think it's incumbent on people in government to listen to the concerns of people from all geographic regions and do their best to bring that to the table. So when the by-election comes, yes, we are going to bring a candidate forward from the area who we want you to send to the legislature, and I hope you do send somebody to sit at the decision-making table rather than to just chirp from the sidelines. But with that in mind, like I said earlier, we're going to be listening, we're going to be working for all Manitobans, whether or not there's a by-election going on. That's the job. Yeah. Yeah, so we took the alcohol, the American manufactured booze off the shelves just to send a message to the States. That removes $80 million from the American economy when we stop buying their booze. It was kind of a win-win because the Canadian stuff tastes way better anyways, right? And when you combine us moving alongside, you know, Ontario and Nova Scotia and all the provinces and territories who did that on the same day, in one day, we took billions of dollars out of the American economy to send the message that hold on, not so fast. You can't push us around. We're going to stick up for ourselves. We're going to stick up for this country that we love so much. And so I would say to the question about what's happening with this booze, which is sitting in MBLL warehouses right now, we've had a lot of good-natured Manitobans stepping up and offering to help us with that if, if there was a way to work on that. Thank you. All right, that's it for journalists. There's a couple other hands up. I guess we're here. We might as well. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Andrew.
Rather than worrying about retaliatory steps, maybe sort of combat our neighbors south, what are you doing to help and work with the collaborators within the province to do federal trade barriers to work on getting other people in the province here to build our local economy, the other provinces to do the same?
Yeah, we passed two big bills during the most recent legislative session. The first was a Buy Canadian Act, which pretty common sense. You would think it would have already been in law, but it is the idea that when we spend your taxpayer dollars, that we're going to prioritize Canadian businesses, Canadian companies for that procurement, for those purchases, for that construction, even for the consulting and work like that. And then the second one was Bill 47, which was your question. It's about knocking down the internal trade barriers. So we passed that, and we've signed MOUs with other provinces like Ontario. We're working on others with BC. We already have the New West Partnership with BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. So Manitoba has historically been a leader on internal trade within Canada, and at this time we're going to continue playing that leadership role because geography is never going to change. We're always going to be close to the U.S. That's always going to be a really important market for us. But given what's happening with the relationship, if we can improve some of the economic activity within Canada, if we can find some new markets, particularly for ag products in Asia, if we can go to Europe and we can sell maybe energy, other goods that we create here in the province, we put all those pieces together, that's how we'll be able to protect your jobs, protect our economy, and protect our country.